Word from the water is that carp and barbel are spawning at Albert Falls, and with red breast tilapia about to start.
Absolutely epic fishing down on the south coast. The rock fishing has not disappointed. And guess what, Nesh? The non-eds are here. We're getting some hammerheads, we're getting some greys.
There you go, buddy. Hit now!
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers of the angle. Summer mode, that is what we are talking about. Why are we talking about summer mode? I have no idea. What in the world happened to spring? Does it even really matter? All that matters is that the fish are here in KZN and the rods are bending, reels are screaming, anglers are smiling. The training sessions are over. The ocean is alive and the game is on. I love it. Main reason is because our reporters, the planet's greatest angling reporters, was telling me all about the action that is going on. Now, they were talking about tuna, they were talking about blue rays, they were talking about garrick, they were talking about brusher, bronze bream, calhoun, shad. Yes, season's closed. We're going to touch on that in a bit, as well as some crazy bottom fish action, some carp, some trout, what is going on with the bass, and of course, they are going on and on about where these fish are boiling out at. So we have action. It is going to be going on. It is going to be going absolutely epic. But before we get into all this action, guys, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Kingfisher. Now, there is no generic clip of. The reason is the Kingfisher has so much going on right now, so I thought I'm going to tell you a little bit of that. Here's what's going on. They have the scratch and win promo going on. It's for the month of October, so we're halfway through, but they have already issued out almost half a dozen golden tickets. That means all these guys got their basket for free in vouchers. Come back, what if you spend 5,000 rand, if you spend 10,000 rand, if you spent 100 rand, you come back and you get that same thing again for free, right? I mean, in that equivalent, so you don't have to get the same thing. You know what I mean? They're giving out stuff for free on these golden tickets. But apart from that, there is still 500,000 rand worth of prizes that are just being dished out. All you got to do is spend 300 bucks, you get a ticket, you get a prize. That prize could be 10%, 15%, 20%, 50%, a couple gifts in between. Oh, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if that doesn't tickle your fancy, at the Kingfisher, they've just brought out, for Daiwa, the Saltiga 2025. We've been talking about it all year long. It is the most engineered reel known to mankind. So check it out on their socials, kingfisher.co.za. Now, that's enough for our sponsors. We love them, but the show must go on, and the show is going on with the fishing. So let's get into it. Let's kick off the show with Mike V and Brad Krubler with everything that's going on in Durban and offshore.
How's it, guys? It was a very good weekend on the beaches, but it was a sporadic weekend. Certain places threw a lot of fish, certain places threw very little. Far south, a lot of bronze bream, a lot of cob. The guys scratched out some lovely fish. Some of the deeper points, one sandy, a couple hammers. The north coast points were the same. Some threw a lot of fish, some threw a little bit. A couple of the points, one fish, one sandy, one grey, things like that. Others threw a lot of bronze bream, a lot of cob. But yeah, that was this weekend on the rock and surf side. On the local Durban North beaches, a very small shad. I saw a picture of one big honeycomb, about 50 or 60 kilos. And then there was some cob and some stumpies and things like that. On the paddle ski and ski boat side, the guys did quite well with the bottoms. A couple guys went for geelbek and dagas. They've been traveling a bit for them, but they are around. A couple amberjacks, a couple yellowtails. So the guys are doing some good fishing there. Garrick have gone quiet on the boat. Snoek a little bit down, but the guys are still going and trying. On the Durban Harbour side, the Oaks are catching a couple grunter here and there. It wasn't wild. It was a okay weekend for the bay. One or two small kingies popped up. I heard of two springer. Those are making an appearance, but not as wild as in the last bit. So guys, have a good time. Enjoy yourselves. This is Mike V for NSA News.
Well, good day guys. Brad here from Linsky Fishing Charters. The fishing report of the ski boats of Durban over the last week. There's been some really nice geelbek and dagas in the night time, especially off that Umhlanga Flats area. Off the Lemercy side, there's been quite a few snook, not the biggest ones, and that's 67 kilogram ones. Then the general bottom fishing has been average. It's like your general slingers, soldiers, and the rockcod. On the far south side, on the bluff side, there's been a lot of geelbek and some nice Englishmen. The 74s are giving us all a hassle. Just remember, you have to release them. Summer's approaching shortly, and very soon we'll be able to catch the green jumping fish. This is Brad for Angling New South Africa, and speak to you all next week.
Thank you, Mike and Brad. I am loving the sound of that. Such a mixed range of species out there to target. And as for Brad talking about that green jumping fish, the chicken of the sea, the popcorn bream, the dorado. Oh, yes, I am certainly looking forward to that. However, I am not done with that tuna action. It is still going on. It's going on absolutely crazy up the North Coast. But before we get there, let's hear from Michaela Daniel with what's been going on just north outside of Durban.
What's up, everyone? This is Michaela from Durban, reporting for Angler News SA. It's been a fantastic week of fishing for our Durban anglers, with many pulling in some lovely catches. From edibles to inedibles, our coast certainly was a mixed bag of surprises over this past week. Starting off at Blue Lagoon, there were reports of some nice grunter coming out of the bricks, while those on the North Bank pulled in some lovely stumpies and one or two carp. While our beachwood anglers battled for bites, there were a few stumpies caught, as well as the odd ray in between. Moving along to Virginia, there were one or two decent-sized garrick caught, as well as a few stumpies and the odd grunter, while our Mhlanga anglers had yet another successful week with the stumpies, blacktail, and stone bream. For our offshore anglers, conditions weren't all that favorable, but for those who persevered, it paid off, with a few snoek having been caught between Blue Lagoon and Glen Ashley, while there was still plenty of garrick coming out at the shallow bait marks. For our bottoms fishermen, there's still lots of daga, geelbek, and rockcod, as well as a few mussel cracker. Moving further up the coast to Mhloti, the rock and surf fired with lots of stumpies and rock species being caught, as well as the odd brusher. The offshore guys also got into the snoek and garrick action, with some lovely sizes coming out, while the bottoms fishermen hooked into some big geelbek and rockcods. That's it from me for now, guys. Tight lines and have a great week.
Michaela, you absolute legend. What a report. So many species to target. Moving all the way from Durban all the way up north. She is so involved. I absolutely love it. And you know what? Huge shout out to her for one massive springer she got at Beachwood last week. What a catch and what a way to drop jaws up on the North Coast. Now, staying on the North Coast, moving further up, we have got Deandra, who knows exactly what's going on all the way up to St. Lucia.
The Reggies had the rods bending and reels screaming this past weekend up in Tegela's side. And if it wasn't the Reggies, it was the Honeys, the Diamonds, and the Sandies too. It's been an epic week for Tegela and St. Lucia anglers in all aspects, from rock and surf to offshore for both non-edibles as well as the edibles. Some garrick juveniles have been landed in Richards Bay from the rocks with a few decent sizes in the mix too. The winning catch definitely goes to an angler that was surprised with an awesome stumpy of around 6 kilograms. Moving further down towards Belito, another memorable catch of a G on the offshore. The bigger size garricks offshore delivered some proper fights with a few dorados reeled into the mix. The bream is still hot on the bite in the rocky areas of Belito, while the anglers have been scratching for stumpies. The school holidays definitely had the juniors occupied with some fun scratching species on the low tides. Well done to all the anglers catching their first as well as their personal best this week. This is Deandra reporting in the North Coast for Angler News South Africa. Tight lines.
Thank you, Dee. What a good, accurate report. That's exactly what I've been getting some intel on as well. And also, guys, if you're heading up to St. Lucia, make sure to head out and target that tuna. I've been following Wave Dancer for a while now, and whoa, they are rocking in the fish. So, yeah. Tuna up on the North Coast, as well as all those other species our reporters were talking about. Now, what's going on up on the Midlands? Well, we have got the one, the only, the legendary Jan Karabel.
Hey there, guys. Summer's gaining traction, and the Midlands has received a bit more rain this week, along with the stoking of the furnace, both of which hopefully not to the degree that we experienced in December last year. The rainfall has already impacted the middle and lower reaches of the rivers, where there has been some runoff and colouring up the water. Judging by the number of dirty vehicles about, the Mudlands is getting into high gear. The rains have also given the rivers a bit of a flush, and while conditions are looking great, fishing has been a bit slow. Only a single return from one of the Natal Fly Fishers Club beats in the Bushman's River, with a single fish in the 9 to 11 inch or 20 to 28 centimeter bracket at that. The Bushmans and Umgani rivers have got some of their sparkle back, with the upper Bushmans looking decidedly peachy currently. The Moy River, on the other hand, has had the runoff from the recent rains and is looking decidedly non-fishy. Water temperatures are also on the up, with the Moy measured at 19 degrees centigrade this week. With some good fish in the 17 to 19 inch or 43 to 48 centimeter class being reported in the NFFC stillwater returns, seems like the stillwater fishing is starting to pick up. Water temperatures are also picking up, with one of the returns noting 20 degrees centigrade surface temperature. So guys, top tip here, if you're practicing catch and release, it is strongly advisable to strengthen your tippet to decrease the fight time and get the fish in quickly, so as to send it back into the depths for its cooler water. Further afield, there have been some excellent fish reported from the Underberg area. The bass have also been keeping very much to themselves. Fishing is reportedly spotty, on 1 minute and off the next. Last weekend saw the PNB Bassmasters holding a triple skins event on Albert Falls, with Leon Clay bringing in a 6-kilo bag to take the event. Word from the water is that carp and barbel are spawning at Albert Falls, and with red breast tilapia about to start. Midmar is apparently fishing well currently. Scaly fishing has slowed somewhat with the recent rains, with the lower reaches of the rivers starting to colour. Now is the time to get after these yellow slabs while conditions are still amenable. They may still also be targeted in the higher dirty water conditions in summer, but hey, let's face it, it's just that much more fun in moderate and cleaner water. Guys, do stop in at Pietermaritzburg for the best in tackle advice. This is Yarwell reporting for Kingfisher and for Angler News South Africa.
All right. So, looks like we are targeting carp, barbel, and red-breasted tilapia because that bass is giving us a bit of hide-and-seek kind of game, and the trout, a little bit difficult. All right, but thank you so much for that, Jan, and thank you for the tips on practicing that catch and release. That is exactly what it's about. And guys, this is a good time for me to talk about catching and releasing because, you know what, Kalyoon season is closed. Yes, the black bream Kalyoon, that species, our national fish, as well as shad. So if you do happen to catch it as a bycatch in between your catches, release it. All right, let's fish for the future. All right, now let's get into some more action down the coastline. Let's head down south with Ray Thompson.
This week has been the start of our summer season. I'm talking about fish like our honeycombs, our sandies, our blue rays, and our diamonds. The flatfish have started with the southwesterly coming through on Sunday. Friday and Saturday were the days to fish for these lovely summer fish. Cold water all along the coastline from Scottsboro up to the Bluff has led to them being everywhere. There's been a lot of bronze bream and cob with this cold water. This week, of course, will be an edible week.
Thank you, Ray. Now, I don't know if you picked up the drop in tone in his voice when he said this week is going to be an edible week. You know what? I've been fishing with Ray for over about 20 years now, and I know he doesn't like fishing for edibles. He's a non-ed angler. To me, it doesn't matter. A fish is a fish. A tug at the end of the line is always exciting. So, you know what? Although it's going to be an edible week, I absolutely love it. All right. Now, let's get into some action further down south, and I'm really interested in this, right? I'm paying close attention to this because that is my next big trip. I'm going to be spending an entire weekend out there fishing multifacets, and Adam is going to tell me exactly what I am going to be fishing for.
Good day, Vinesh. I hope you're doing well, my friend, and I hope everybody out there listening to East Coast Radio has had a beautiful week because it's been absolutely epic fishing down in the South Coast. The rock fishing has not disappointed. We've had beautiful bronze bream, beautiful galjoen, we've had brusher, we've had big blacktail, and guess what, Nesh? The non-eds are here. We're getting some hammerheads, we're getting some grays, which means that the water conditions are absolutely perfect. We've had rainy days, windy days, the east howling, we've had blue bottles, we've had sand mixing, but the guys that are picking their days and picking their times have been rewarded, which is exactly what we do as fishermen. The holidays are over, so guess what, guys? Our local fishing spots will be returned as normal, meaning that, yes, you'll have a spot to fish. The piers won't be so jammed up. We know the shad are still around, but again, guys, please put that back. But again, Vinesh, as I said, the water is a little bit cold here and there. So the guys are targeting those non-eds and they are being rewarded. The guys going to those cleaner pockets are getting some beautiful edible fish. It's lovely to see that even though that the wind and the rain and the sea has been a bit of turmoil, the guys that are going out on those days where it's been a little bit better to fish are being rewarded. I'm not too sure what the wind is going to do or the weather for this weekend because as we know, it's KZN. We have 4 seasons within a day. You wear a jersey in the afternoon and a vest in the morning. But let's see what happens over the weekend. Otherwise, guys, stay safe, tight lines, and let's see those catches.
Adam, absolutely. Let's see those catches indeed. What a good report. A mixed bag of fish. And, guys, you got to see that hammerhead action. If you want to see these catches all these anglers are talking about, make sure to check it out on our socials. Angler News SA, Angling Times SA, Vanessa Green, any of our social media platforms. We have got all the catches our anglers are talking about. Just to reiterate exactly what they are saying and where these fish are coming out from. So this weekend, all right, so yeah, we know it's going to be a bit rainy, it's going to be a bit windy, but there are a good couple windows in between and there will be fish. All right, so when you are out there, get out there, make sure those hooks are sharpened and you are getting those rods bent, those reels screaming, and until the next one.
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green. Find more episodes at ecr.co.za under podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Let's fish for the future.